Greetings, cinephiles. Are you looking for a movie analysis podcast that stands above the rest? Then look no further than Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters.
We analyze good movies, we analyze bad movies, and yes, we also analyze the in-betweens of the world of cinema.
So if you like what you hear, find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasts.
And yes, my friends, we are 420 friendly. So when you listen to us, smoke it if you've got it. And now, here's a new episode of Collateral Gaming. The show starts right now.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
I'm Megan Gomez.
And I'm Dan Rockwood.
And this is Collateral Gaming. Welcome to Collateral Gaming, the only video game podcast that matters, where we focus on good games, bad games, and everything else in between in the world of gaming. We're podcasting straight from somewhere in Houston, Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420 friendly podcast, so whatever you have, smoke it if you've got it. Welcome to our Game Lunch Edition 2025 in review episode. So as we've done for the past couple years, we're just going to go ahead and get into all of the games that came out this year that we didn't get a chance to do an episode on, and boy, a lot of games came out this year. So,
Yeah, no kidding. It's been a wild year for gaming.
Yeah, almost a sleeper year too. There's some years that you hit January and you're like, oh my God, there's so much coming out this year. That's how I feel about 2026 right now. But
Yes.
2025, I didn't go into 2025 thinking this is going to be a great year for games. It just sort of ended up happening, and that's almost better. It was cool having some of these surprises come along the way.
no, and we talked about this last year, but 2024 was a great year for gaming too. Like, I thought that was excellent. We had several really good releases, and looking into 2025, even coming into early 2025, I did not anticipate that it would actually be better. I feel like 2025 was actually even better for gaming than 2024 was. So, anybody that says modern gaming is bad is just an idiot. I'm sorry. Or you just only play shitty games. I don't know. Because we have been spoiled the past couple years with really great releases from a lot of AA developers, indie developers, and even some AAA developers actually kind of stepped their game up. I'm happy to talk about it. I actually this year tried to play as many games as I possibly could. Like, anytime anything came out, I usually picked it up. If it was something I thought I might be interested in, or if it came out on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, especially, it's free, so might as well check it out. There were a lot of games this year actually that I just played for like a single evening, and that was it. But you know what?
It do be like that.
Yeah. And hey, that's a good evening. Sometimes it's fun when you can almost like mark your calendar, decide what you want to eat that night, and be like, I'm going to sit down, maybe have a preferred beverage or anything else, and just enjoy a game. And if it's something you just play for that evening and then don't get back into, that's okay sometimes, because we're all busy and life happens, and there are a lot of games. There's so many games to play, and so it can be hard to focus on just one at a time sometimes, especially when we're covering games on shows and everything. We need to kind of bounce around a little bit, maybe more than the average person.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's another thing is like all of us have like a little bit of a podcasting mind, or like a content creation based mind. So it's like, oh, well, this is coming out, so I need to be able to cover this for so long, or hey, this is going to be on the podcast, so I need to play this. Like, I've definitely had that, especially like as like a small streamer. I'm like, okay, well, we're covering Hogwarts on the podcast, so I'm going to have 3 or 4, streams where I'm going to play Hogwarts or, whatever. So I feel like that kind of ties into it too, but also the surprise fucking drops we had this past year, we didn't even talk about it like before, like pre-podcast, but guys, like, we had an Oblivion remake just dropped in our fucking laps. Like, that
we did, we and we did an episode on it, and Megan, oh my God, I felt so bad because I wanted you to be on that episode. I think I just planned plain forgot to just hit you up before we texted it because I'm coordinating with multiple people. That's why it's easier when I hit you guys up in the group chat on Facebook, and I'm just like, okay, everybody's here. But if there's anybody else involved, I lose track. But actually, Megan, I'll let you talk about Oblivion Remastered if you'd like, since you didn't get a chance to.
Yeah,
in fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's start our list, and we can start with Oblivion Remastered because I did an episode on it, but Megan wasn't involved, and I know you've got some things to say about it.
Cause yeah, fuck it, we ball. The fact that they just randomly drop this shit and they drop it on Game Pass and they're just like, yeah, by the way, we have Oblivion Remastered. Everyone was like, I beg your what? Huh? Like, it was the most random surprise of the fucking year. It just happened on a Tuesday. I thought it was incredible. I loved how well it went. I loved the graphics, the games. It really felt like they just like breathed like a breath of fresh air. Like they gave CPR to the fucking game. Is the only way I can describe it. I feel like it went so well and I really loved it. I was kind of sad that I didn't get to be on the episode, but you know what? It's okay. I was making a fool of myself on stream the night that y'all did it anyways.
Okay.
Because it's so different to Skyrim too, especially for like people that didn't get the chance to play it. Like it's a lot like a Skyrim, or it's not any bit like Skyrim. So like if that's the only Bethesda based fantasy game you've played, be careful. Know that it's a lot different than your Fus Ro Dah. You can't shout things into literally nowhere. You have to be tactful about how you play the game. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about it. I mean, nothing that no one else has already said and yapped about before, I'm sure. But I was really surprised in the fact that, they did. I feel like this year they did a lot more on Game Pass and like on PlayStation Plus and free games this past year, which I really thought was great.
Yeah.
Especially because of just the way that, like I'm not going to go into things too far, but the way that things have been going, like I feel like it's been kind of difficult for gamers to kind of have like their games to play because one, like prices keep going up. Two, it's brutal out there. It's hard for some people to get games, like I've definitely had in streams where I bought, my friend Travis, the sibling who streams, I bought him Helldivers. I've bought, some of my followers games, just because, I know that there are people out there that they can't have that sense of enjoyment. So the fact that we're getting so many day one drops on Game Pass, on PlayStation Plus, I think is a really great thing that developers are doing because it's going to give more people the opportunity to consume something that people put their hearts into, And so like I really loved that aspect.
Well, too bad that Game Pass went up in. Sorry, go ahead.
No, well, and I'll speak to what I think you're about to say too, but I'll Game Pass and PlayStation Plus have both been great. I went through my PS Plus library the other night just to be like, I own hundreds of games and I've forgotten most of them. I should probably take stock of what I actually have. So I went through and I just started being like, wow, there are amazing games in here that I just haven't played through. RoboCop Rogue City, Ghostwire Tokyo, Detroit Become Human. Like these are just to name a few of like these are all games that I would have bought and played at some point, but I just was able to get them as part of these subscriptions. And Ash, to your point, which I will let you make, I unsubscribed from Game Pass, this year. And will I resubscribe? If I do, it'll be on more of like a month-to-month basis, I think. Whereas before, I just had it and was happy to pay it every month. But it got a little bit about outside of my range. And Ash, I'll let you lead the conversation on that.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna mention that. It's too bad that Game Pass went up in price. Now, for me, I'm still paying for it. I still feel like the price is justified by just the amount of content that's coming out, especially because so many games that came out this year, specifically games that I thought, hey, you know what? If nothing else, I can mention this on the year in review episode. So I'm going to try to play it. Games came out on Game Pass. But I'm also seeing a lot more things pop up on PlayStation Plus too, which was nice, which justifies having both subscriptions. Because I've thought about, whether I need both. And for right now, with the value that I'm getting and the fact that, anytime something drops day one on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, I can play it. Or if it pops up later, and it like you said, Dan, it's a game that I wanted to play but haven't had a chance to, like Lies of P, that dropped on PlayStation Plus, I think, earlier this year. And I played a little bit of that even. for an evening.
And I got to get back into Lives of P because they patched that after the fact. I think there are either difficulty settings now or there are ways to customize the approach to the game, whereas when I first picked it up, that was not the choice. And I think I got outskilled in that game pretty quickly, so it'd be worth it for me to go back into it.
I need to jump back into it at some point, maybe find an excuse to. But anyway, we'll go ahead and move on to our main discussion here. I first want to mention what games we're not talking about, which are games that we've already done an episode on. So if you're listening to this and wondering, hey, why didn't they bring that up? Well, it's because we already did talk about it. So obviously, we did an episode on Oblivion Remastered. You can hear my thoughts on that, on that episode. Assassin's Creed Shadows, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, The 100 Last Defense Academy, Doom: The Dark Ages, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, everything that we covered on the Nintendo Switch 2 episode, which included but is not limited to Donkey Kong Bonanza, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, Shootin' Order, which was great. I loved it. Chronos: The New Dawn, Silent Hill F, Ghost of Yote, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment, and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
So some of the biggest hitting titles of 2025 we're not going to cover on this episode.
I think we did a good job of covering a lot of the heavy hitters this year. So I was really happy about that. But yeah, moving on, there are still a few games that we have not talked about and that I felt were worth discussing. For the first time in a couple years, we didn't do a Call of Duty episode, and we've covered most of the new releases. But I wanted to cover Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7 as kind of like a dual episode because I know they were being compared a lot and whatnot, and then they came around the same time. But I didn't end up doing that. I did do a Let's Play on each, so you can go check that out on YouTube. But I did want to go ahead and take this time to discuss the multiplayer shooters that came out this year, starting with Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7. Dan, I know you did play some Battlefield 6. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played a Battlefield game, like well over a decade at this point, but a lot of people were getting into Battlefield 6. A lot of my friends were playing. It was getting very good reviews. People were really enjoying it. And I started to have some FOMO. So I thought, you know what? It is, video games are expensive. Am I going to spend a lot of time with this? And I finally just took the plunge and decided to get it. And I've had a really good time with it. Apart from my first day was a little annoying. I got it on Steam to play on my PC, and a lot of PCs you need to enable like the anti-cheating software that's built into the motherboards. So you have to go into the BIOS, you have to do all this stuff. Should be relatively straightforward. I should preface, I'm not bad at computers. I build computers. I'm decently good at them. I was having trouble figuring this out even with a guide. And when I finally checked off the correct thing and went to launch it, it still wasn't working. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. So I refunded it on Steam. I went and bought it on PS5. I was happy to see that PS5 supports mouse and keyboard. So if I wanted to play that way, I could. And I got into it, and I was promptly just getting killed left and right. And I realized my problem was I was playing it like a Call of Duty game, which you're not supposed to do. And so a buddy of mine, Mike, who has played a lot of these games, I joined up with him. And watching how he plays and sort of letting him take the lead, it was like, oh, so this is actual war. I'm not supposed to run out and try and shoot things. I need to crouch and hide and go from checkpoint to checkpoint and actually try and stay alive like we're in the middle of a war zone. Once I figured that out, my time with the game was a lot more enjoyable, and it was just a whole lot of fun, getting these upgrades and leveling up and, the different classes that they have that you can play. I had a blast experimenting with those, and it was just hugely satisfying, whether you're, being a sniper, if you want to play support or assault or whatever. Had a really good time with it, and honestly, I've been meaning to go back to it. I've just been too busy, but it's a game that I definitely want to get back into.
Same here. I haven't played a lot of it. I have played some. I did a Let's Play on it, so you could watch me flail around because like you, Dan, I had Call of Duty habits baked in. I still do when I play this game. A lot of the first things I heard about this from friends was it's hard, and then I realized that those friends were Call of Duty players. I've never played a Battlefield game before, so this was all new to me. But I did appreciate that it was a different angle. You know, you're not going to see players sliding around the map and shit. Instead, this is a more tactical approach where you really have to consider the fact that if you just come out into the open, you're going to get sniped. So and there, I liked the fact that there are different roles as well. So whenever you're playing, you know, you have your class, and so you kind of have a role to fill, and there's something extra to do rather than just shoot people or complete the objective. It's like, you know, and I liked, you know, I had fun, you know, kind of experimenting with those different types, and you know, playing the medic and reviving everybody, or
or unrepairing the enemy tank. Just fuck you, unrepairs tank.
Yeah, or being the engineer and getting to fuck with the with the vehicles and stuff. And or my favorite was the recon class. I feel like that's kind of my go-to. Some maps I feel like assault's a little bit better if it's a little close quarters because it has a shotgun as like an item that you can use. You can swap to a shotgun as like a third gun, which is really cool. And that's just like the default class. But I'll fuck around with the assault and the recon, and it was cool because like as a sniper, it's not just pulling off, you know, shots, but there are abilities that allow you to you know, be able to scope out enemies and show those positions to your squad mates or teammates. So yeah, it was really cool kind of getting into that, but you know, humbling for sure. Very humbling because, you know, if you come into this playing like it's Call of Duty, you know, you're gonna get your ass handed to you.
And it angered so much of the COD fan base, and it's like they are a juxtaposition being released within a month of each other. Like, one, Call of Duty is its own thing. It has its own engine. It runs like the way that Call of Duty runs is the way that it's, you know, it's gone down its path. It's, you know, cemented into, you know, the gaming world. It plays the way Call of Duty plays. Battlefield is entirely different, and it's a complete juxtaposition of that, but they're both war-based games. So you expect it to be like Call of Duty, but it's literally just something completely different. Like for me, I watched Alan play a lot of it, especially at the beginning, because like I had played a little bit of Battlefield when I was younger, and obviously y'all know I used to play a lot of COD. But I feel like if you're to compare it to a game, it would be closer to like Hell Let Loose. I don't know if y'all have ever played that one. That one's fucking crazy. That's like real war simulation shit. But it's not like tactical like a game where you're like a general building an army. It's more like you have to cooperate with your squad mates, supply drops, things like that. So I feel like it's like a mixture between those two. And you have Battlefield. But I did watch Alan play it, and I watched a lot of my streamer friends play it, and it was some wild shit. Y'all getting smoked out here. My God.
Yeah. No, but I mean, what a comeback for EA, you know, with the Battlefield franchise, because, you know, Battlefield 2042 apparently was not very well received.
It wasn't.
But they managed to come out, and I think people were so fed up with a lot of the Activision shit. With Call of Duty, that they actually managed to acquire that base. And honestly, it was a brilliant move releasing the game, I think a month before Call of Duty dropped. I think
commercials. Oh my God, the commercials had me cackling like a fucking hyena. But also not to mention, like, you know, like I was kind of talking about this a little bit earlier, like it's really hard out there right now. A lot of people have, you know, Xboxes or they have PlayStations. Consoles only have so much storage. Why the fuck would I spend $100 to have something where it takes up the entirety of space on my console? Call of Duty, for reference, Helldivers per PC was just moved down to 22 gigs. It was 150, right? That's a decent sized game. Cool. Call of Duty is double that. It is 300 fucking gigabytes. Who the fuck is going to waste, unless that's exclusively what you play or you have the money to have just a COD console? That's fucking crazy. That's the entirety of the storage space on an Xbox Series S. That's fucked.
So I just have the multiplayer installed. I have not fucked with the campaigns much, if at all, with either of these two games.
Right.
So I honestly just have the multiplayer installed, but it still takes up a good like 100 to 200 gigs.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. It just sits in your storage, and it's one of those games that you don't ever delete because it sits there just in case, like Zach
someone wants
calls
to
me
squad up.
or another friend calls me and was like, hey, you want to play some COD or whatever? And I'm like, okay, fine,
Yeah.
So I have both COD and Battlefield taking up storage right now, but they're kind of those games that are stuck on my internal storage for now. I usually have to go in and delete other things.
Listen, you just buy an Xbox for Call of Duty and Battlefield and nothing else, and then that's your dedicated Xbox, and then you buy your other Xbox for all your other games.
It does help that I have multiple consoles, so I can kind of divvy it up. And Xbox is my Battlefield and Call of Duty machine because Call of Duty's on Game Pass, so that's a no-brainer. I went ahead and got Battlefield 6 on there too. I've been kind of just making my Xbox my de facto first-person shooter console, unless there's some reason I want to play that on PS5. Go ahead and let's talk about Black Ops 7. I think out of all of us, I'm the only one that's played, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If Zach was here, Zach would have a lot to say, and I'm sorry that we missed him. He was supposed to be here, but he had a function, I'll find some way to link up with him later and talk about this because I know he's going to have a lot more to say.
I think he's just nervous that if Metroid Prime 4 were to come up, he would need to fight us on it, and I think he is scared of the conflicts, and so he chose to work late tonight.
He's scared
Calling him out.
Amazing. Yes, that's got to be it, Dan.
Incredibly. I love it.
But as for my thoughts of Black Ops 7, well, first of all, we've noticed a trend now. So it seems Activision has abandoned their alternating release schedule with studios, and now what they're doing is a 2-year alternating schedule with every other year being basically just kind of a more minimal upgrade to the last one. So we saw that both Modern Warfare 2 and 3, and now we're seeing that with Black Ops 6 and 7. Like, okay, we'll have 2 Black Ops 7. I mean, as soon as they announced they were doing another Black Ops game, I was like, really? You're not going to alternate? And then I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing now. And it's very similar to how I felt about Modern Warfare 3. I feel like Battlefield 6 doesn't do a whole lot to distinguish itself from Black Ops 6 for me. Now, obviously, I'm not an expert in this. I don't have a lot of the technical knowledge. I honestly suck ass at multiplayer shooters. I'm going to be real with y'all. But Call of Duty is the one that I at least can kind of work my way around sometimes, and I really did like Black Ops 6. I played quite a bit more of it last year than I usually play. I've not picked up Black Ops 7 that much. I do like that we still have the Omni movement and whatnot. But yeah, it just doesn't do a whole lot else for me. I mean, the maps are pretty good. I don't think there's any map that I've played that I thought was bad. Everything, there's some quality of life improvements and the general handling and everything feels better, which is good. The one thing I really do appreciate about it is that during and I played both the early access for or beta testing for Black Ops 7 and Battlefield 6. And the one thing I noticed about Black Ops 6 during the beta, which was cool, was that they actually offered a match modes that did not have skill-based matchmaking. And that carried over into the full release. And I was really, really happy to see that because it's the one thing a lot of gamers have been complaining about is skill-based matchmaking. It's something that I've noticed, And so the fact that I've been saying it for years now that they should just literally just offer a separate mode that doesn't have skill-based matchmaking, and they did. And lo and behold, it's great. Everybody loves it. So
yeah, that was my biggest problem. I went to go play Black Ops 6 because I loved 4 and 5. Or no, 4. Yeah, 4. And then I wanted to play 6. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll get back into it. And I finally got it all fucking downloaded, got it everything ready to go. And I got dropped into, I was a level 1 getting dropped in with 150 plus levels. And I was like, how the fuck am I going to live? I haven't touched this game in years. Like, I'm fucked. And it just never worked out for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it sucks because it's like, it's almost like that system punishes you. By,
it's like the good old boys
the better
club.
You get,
yeah.
the sweatier lobbies you get into. So I'm glad that they finally offered a solution to that. Literally, that's what I've been saying. Just offer a mode that doesn't have skill-based matchmaking. But honestly, what Activision needs to do is instead of if they're gonna wait 2 years now to alternate studios and alternate subseries, what they should honestly do is stop insisting on releasing a game every year. I mean, it's clear that they don't really have enough content to justify a whole new, $70 game plus Battle Pass if you do that. And, I feel like it would be a better idea for them now to just continue to support the same game for another year, drop another Battle Pass and make people purchase that if you want to.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. Slow it down
for the
a
new
bit.
year. But they could go on a bi-yearly release now, and I feel like that would suit them better. I feel like more people would pick up the next COD, not thinking, okay, yeah, I mean, here's Black Ops 7. Is this really different from Black Ops 6? I can't justify. I can't tell somebody, hey, yeah, you need to go drop $70 on this. The game's saving grace is that it's on Game Pass, and that's how I played it.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that, especially with like a lot of these like free games. Like Overwatch, for example, just overhauled all of their stuff. They're doing the yearly seasons. They're going to be dropping different heroes. Rivals is doing some different stuff to make sure that they have that quality of life that carries throughout, especially because you do lose users as you go throughout time. But a lot of these free to play live service games, Activision has like one foot in each part of the realm there with the battle passes and things like that. They need to slow down on their releases and focus on quality of life during the battle pass, focus on things that are actually going to make the players feel like the time they're spending in the game is worth the time that they're spending. And I feel like they'll be a lot better off. They need to be focusing on quality of life content that will make them, push forward to the next step, because it's like the sports games, for example. Why do we have 2K every fucking year? Why
Who
can't
buys
we
2K every year? Yeah.
Who the fuck does that? Like, why? Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be brash, but I'm confused. It's like we always have this discussion because Ash has a lot of experience with Apple. Like the people that upgrade their fuck ass phones every year. So why, homie? You can wait. It's okay. Like, I just don't understand why we have to do this every single year. They do this every year. Like, I can't.
Well, see, at least with the phones, you're not being told that you need a new one every year. They just happen to offer one, and if you're due for an upgrade cycle, that's good. But with the games, I mean, they kind of are forcing you to buy a new one every year because they stop supporting the old one, and all of the new content and all of the new modes and new guns and stuff, that's all going to come for the new game, and that's what everybody else is going to be playing. So if you have a lot of friends that play COD, I mean, hey, guess what? You're going to have to drop at least $70 on COD and more money on Battle Pass. Like I said, unless you have Game Pass, but that's gone up in price. So
it's a pick your battles kind of thing for sure.
But there was one more multiplayer shooter. It is a little bit different, but there was one more multiplayer shooter that was brought up into the conversation.
That has taken the world by storm.
That was Arc Raiders.
Yes.
It's a third-person extraction shooter. Now, I haven't played this, but I'll let you guys take it away.
Yeah, it's gone fucking viral. T-Pain plays it like Nappy Boy. Let's go.
All right.
I love him. Y'all don't understand how much I love T-Pain. That man is just a national treasure. I love that he spins around. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen the meme where it's like T-Pain and it's like he was a fairy. He really fucking is. He's just Nappy Boy the fairy. I love him. But yeah, no, it has been like, I don't even play the game. I've been debating on playing it because some of my followers have asked me to play, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not that sweaty, but I have played Vigor, and I really, really, really like Vigor. So it's been a debate for me to play it, but I've heard a lot of great things about it. I've heard that it's really fun and like the community is really cool, and that a lot of people have a lot of fun with it. Also, in the same vein, did y'all know that somebody finally fucking escaped from Tarkov? No? What? Yeah, so there's like a whole thing about escape from Tarkov, and it's like this whole thing, but no one has ever actually escaped. Somebody finally fucking did. Like, things are weird in the world of extraction shooters, man. It's weird out there.
Yeah, it's extraction shooters are not something that I have like typically played a ton of. But Arc Raiders, like you said, it took the world by storm. I feel like it went viral so quickly. This was one of those surprises for me that it just dropped one day. Like it seemed to just pop into existence, and all of a sudden it was the biggest thing on Steam, and there were so many concurrent players, and all this stuff was going on. So I looked into it. I had a number of friends who were playing. Launched at $40. Like, that price point was pretty good, and so I figured,
yeah.
all right, let's jump into this. And I hadn't been using my gaming PC that much lately, so I was like, let's get it on Steam. Let's use this, and it'll be an ability for me to use my computer that I've put all this money into. And it was great. I got addicted to it very quickly. My main criticism is that the progression is slower than I would like it to be, and the risk reward doesn't really even out, in my opinion, because you can put a ton of time and effort into a run, and then another player can just kill you and steal all your stuff. And yes, that's the point of the game. Yeah, that's part of it, but it's still discouraging when that happens. And I think the last time I picked it up, my two friends basically abandoned me, and then I got cornered by enemy players and just got gunned down, and I lost all my shit. And I was like, well, this isn't really what I'm necessarily looking for in a game. And then they launched the expeditions, but there was so much leading into those, and it's cool that they've kept up with these updates and have made the game feeling fresh. But for the hours I put into it and the time that I have, and looking at my friends who have played many more hours than me and have been able to get much better guns and equipment and all this stuff, and it's like it was feeling like I needed to quit my job and just play this full time in order to get ahead, and I just wasn't willing to do that, so I kind of dropped off. Definitely something I want to return to. I had a lot of fun with it, but I don't know if it has the staying power as some of those other games that really hooked me for a while.
Sure,
I think I'm in the same vein as you with like the First Descendant, because a lot of the same shit's happening with the First Descendant, where it's like I feel like I have to do so much like to keep up. It's not like a game where you can just drop it. I feel like there's like updates and it's like, oh well, this is the meta build, and then 2 weeks later they buff something, and then they this Descendant gets this and this Descendant gets that, and it's like it's just constant, like you have to keep up with it or you're fucked. So I haven't been playing it as much. There was a new release like 2-3 weeks ago, but I haven't been picking it up as much. I did play it yesterday for a couple hours, but y'all know I was playing the shit out of that last year at the beginning of the year, but it's just kind of dropped off for me. Because it feels like a full-time fucking job just getting parts and building Descendants and guns, and it's like, bro, I don't have the time to be playing this all the time. My followers don't want to see this 24/7. I got Cyberstan to jump into. What you fucking mean, homie? Like what?
Yeah. That's a sentiment I have for a lot of multiplayer live service games. Like, I just don't have the time to invest in this to be any good at it. So,
I've been getting like almost romanticizing the single player games in my life. Like, oh, you're not here to hurt me. This is an enjoyable experience, and I can put it away for a week and come back, and things will be roughly the same. If I don't play an extraction shooter for a week, all of a sudden everybody else is way out-leveled from me, and they have all these advantages, and they know the maps better than I do, and so there's like a learning curve that you really need to stay on top of, or you're just going to get left behind in a lot of these experiences.
Yeah, I understand. But moving on, Avowed. This is a game that came out early this year. I kind of forgot about it. I didn't play it for the longest time, but I did pick it up again today. But Megan, I know that you played this also. So what are your thoughts on it?
It was very interesting. It wasn't something like it grabbed my attention for a while, but it wasn't able to hold my attention, I'll say. Especially compared to a lot of the things. I mean, Doom came out this year. Like,
right.
Come on. As a metalhead, as a metal girly, I need to be playing Doom and satisfying my bloodlust, okay?
Oh, fuck
Come
yeah.
on. But I liked it. It was an interesting story, but also I just don't feel like there was enough elements to keep me involved in the story. And also just the way that it starts out a little bit too vague. I feel like there needed to be a little bit more definition in the story, but I felt like it was good. The graphics were beautiful, especially when I upgraded to my PC in August. I love that shit for me. But yeah, I just don't feel like it was something that kept my attention. I would like to get back into it just to give it another review. Um, and maybe even potentially in the future do a review on the episode on an episode. But I don't know. I don't know if you're in the same boat as me or if you just like were like, yeah, let's fucking go. I'm gonna 100% this game.
No, I'm 100% in the same boat as you. I played this game when it came out early this year, and yeah, it just didn't hook me. I thought we maybe might do an episode on it. I mean, hey, it was on Game Pass, and it was a new release, and you seemed excited about it. So I was like, but we didn't end up doing that. I feel like I just had so much going on that, and like you said, I can really echo that sentiment. It didn't hook me. I know a lot of people have called this like a poor man's Skyrim. And it does feel that way. That was at launch. Now, I did pick it up again literally today. And I actually was kind of fucking with it a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't give a fuck about the story. I literally, like, none of it was memorable to me. I'll go through and I'll pick dialogue options and I won't even remember what the fuck we're talking about. So like, the story hasn't hooked me, but at least in terms of like finding a build and like working my way through that build, at least in the early game, that I kind of fucked with, and I thought was cool. And I always enjoy games that let you do that let you kind of make your build. And I feel like this one is kind of an accessible game to do that. But yeah, just a very kind of bland, forgettable game for some reason. And that's unfortunate because there are a lot of cool things. I was kind of fucking around with like a wizard build, and there were a lot of things I liked about the combat system. But yeah, unfortunately, it's like, I don't know that this game does enough to hold my interest. I don't know if it's something I'll pick up again after this episode. So
yeah, and like also when I learned, so the guy who voices Garrus in Mass Effect, Brandon Keener, is the guy who voices one of the side characters in this game. You can't fucking romance him. Who the fuck puts Brandon Keener in a game, knowing farewell his reputation with the gaming world, and doesn't let us fuck him?
Damn it.
Let's be so for real.
Missed opportunities.
Missed opportunity. And he's the guy, like, and his character's like not bad looking, but it's like, nope, can't fuck him. Like,
damn it.
That's an L for me, dog.
Very minimally did I play Avowed when it came out, and I was looking for this new experience, wanting to kind of get wrapped up in this world. Didn't really grab me personally, but I know that there's definitely an audience for this game and people really enjoyed it. Wasn't really for me, and I was okay to accept that, pretty quickly, and was like, this is cool, but there's other stuff that I'd rather be playing right now, so that I sort of bounced off it.
Mm-hmm. Same here. That's pretty much the way I feel about it.
And I think we bought the house around the same time, so I was moving, and like I just didn't have the time.
Yeah,
it's one of those games you would have to invest time into.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But it has received some updates, so that's good, and that apparently has addressed a lot of the issues that people had with the game, performance issues and whatnot. When I played it today, I noticed that it ran at a pretty stable frame rate on my Xbox Series X. I didn't notice any dips or anything, and it was smooth. But moving on, Blueprints. This is a game that really surprised me. Dan, I know you played some of this, so what did you think about it?
I did.
His little woo.
Yeah, this is a game that I need to purchase. I played it on Game Pass on my Xbox. A lot of game journalists were talking about this. A lot of the podcasts I follow, they were talking about this, and it really intrigued me. So I got it on Game Pass and booted it up. And it's a game that does not, at least for me, feel impactful right away. You're sort of figuring the game out as you go along. And by the third or fourth run, because there are roguelike elements to it, I was like, okay, it kind of clicked, and I think I got it. And then I played for many more hours. My issue with the game, and this is where I think I need to buy it and just start fresh from the beginning, is nothing makes sense, or very little makes sense. And I like the mystery of the game, but you are going through, and for anyone who doesn't know, it's a roguelike game. You're exploring this mansion, but you are putting the rooms down, building the blueprint as you go along. So you open a door and you have 3 options of what kind of room to put down, and you can see the location of the doors in that room. So you need to find a way to connect all these rooms together to get to the secret room in the back of the mansion. And at first, I thought just getting to that room was what was required.
Yeah.
I achieved that, and there was no way for me to enter the room. So I was like, okay. Right. We had a hypothesis, and I tested it, and we proved it wrong. So there's something else that's going on. When you only get 50 steps, and there are ways, and each room counts as a step. So you can go through in and out of a door counts as a step, right? You have ways in the mansion to increase your number of steps and to be able to keep going. But when you're out, you collapse from exhaustion, and then the mansion resets and you start again the next day. But any knowledge that you gain, you can take, and there are some unlockables with areas that you can, like, if you get a helpful item, if you're able to, you can put it in storage basically to then pick up the next time you draw that room. So very creative, very cool concept of a game. It's very much an indie game. You don't need a super powerful machine to run it or anything, and it's just a very charming concept. I had a lot of fun with this game. Played it on Game Pass. Like I said, I'm no longer subscribed to Game Pass, so I think I need to pick this up on Steam or something. I would love for it to come to Switch too. I don't believe it has yet, but it is a really good candidate to run well on Switch too. And sure. If you like puzzle games, if you like roguelikes, this is a really cool and unique game to pick up. And when you start to think you have things figured out, it throws a curveball at you. There are parts of the mansion and parts of the grounds that I never anticipated were going to be part of this puzzle. And then I got something that unlocked, and you can turn the power off and on when you get access to the circuit breaker, and that powers certain doors, and then you could open up different doors, and it's just a whole thing. I've had a lot of fun with it. Hugely recommend it. This is one of the biggest delights of this year for sure. Ash, what was your time with it like?
Oh man, yeah, what a unique concept. I don't think there is quite another game like this, and I think that's why it's getting so much attention, because I've seen it being brought up on a lot of Game of the Year awards. It's received a lot of nominations and awards. It did win Game of the Year at the Indie Game Awards after they dethroned Expedition 33 for apparently containing AI assets. There's a whole conversation about that. But then I heard some people clap back and say that there was AI assets in the final product of Blueprints. I don't know, but it's a fun game. And what a win for indie development, for it to kind of see this recognition when we get games like that, or Hollow Knight Silksong. That's a game that you're going to notice is absent from this episode. I at least wanted to touch on it, I guess, but I just haven't really played a whole lot of it, so I don't have a whole lot to say.
Yeah.
In fact, I haven't even made my way all the way through Hollow Knight. So, I'll bring it up later. But as far as Blueprints goes, I mean, this was an indie game that I did play a lot of. I felt that it was strangely addicting, because the more frustrated you got, it felt like the more you wanted to play this game. I kid you not, I spent an entire all-nighter on this. I didn't plan to, but god damn it, every single time I had to redo the loop, I had to keep going, because either you had a good loop, but then you had to end it at some point, and it's like, okay, good, we made some progress, we found some kind of permanent upgrade or something that we could do now I got to push forward. Or sometimes you just got fucked by the RNG and you just had not a good run, but it just incentivized you to do another run. But yeah, for a roguelite puzzle game, I don't know how many of those there are in existence, but yeah, what a unique concept. I like that the whole thing is very ambiguous. The story is kind of one of those, like immersion things where you have to kind of find the clues throughout the environment to try to piece it together. I like that it's do you guys get it? It's Blueprints.
We like some clever game titles.
Yeah. But I have not beat this. I've heard that there's more to do even after getting the initial objective of hitting that back room, that there's even more stuff and more mysteries to uncover, which is cool. This is a game I can definitely see them adding more onto. I mean, DLC for this would be easy. You could literally just do an expansion and add a whole set of rooms and a whole new like story that goes along with those. But yeah,
I think Blueprints and Luigi's Mansion crossover when's it going to happen?
Yes.
Whoa.
That would be
That's a
insane.
wild
Just
pull.
let them get acquired by Nintendo, and we'll see it happen. Without spoilers, and I haven't finished the game, so I don't even know what happens. But my understanding is you get to the final room. That's basically like players seem to treat that almost like the beginning. Like, congratulations, you've started the game, and then keep going. Most players from the Reddits I've seen, you should clear it at least twice. So there's something that happens. I don't know what, but that uncovers more of the mystery. But you want to know what drives me crazy thinking about this game is that whenever you reset, you're doing it the next day, and it logs the number of days. So you're on, day 10, day 20, whatever. And on Reddits especially, people are like, oh, I didn't have any of this figured out until day 35, or I cleared it on day 50, day 60, whatever. The thing that drives me crazy that I can't wrap my head around is there is an achievement in this game for getting to the final room on day 1, which tells me there is some algorithm at work that once you crack it, you'll be able to get to the room maybe every time. I don't know if it's random or not, and I haven't Googled it because there are so few mysteries in video games these days. This is one that I'm intentionally keeping dark on just because it's really fun to think about and theorize. But it's the fact that achievement exists breaks my brain for what the meaning of this game is. So that's where I'm at.
That's insane. So I wonder how many people have actually platinumed this game then.
Yeah.
Probably
well, and
not
that's
many.
what I'm wondering. Is it totally random that you have to be lucky to get it on day 1? Or is it that an algorithmic thing that when you realize this room connects to this room and then connects to this room, once you crack that, are you able to fill it in pretty quickly? And I'm excited to play more and figure that out because I need to know.
Yeah. Oh man, that's cool. That's like a game that keeps giving. I love mystery games like that. Another game that was like that just kept uncovering mysteries about was PT.
Oh man, what a piece of gaming history that's so infamous now.
Y'all are making me want to play this. I'm like, Blueprints.
You should. I believe it's like $15 or $20. You can get it on Steam or any of the consoles, except Switch. I think. Again, I don't believe it's on Switch currently. I hope it comes to that. It is a game that I would love to get for my Steam Deck or something.
Okay.
And it would be cool to play on handheld, which I will quickly talk on this as we get to this. This is a good segue. I got a PlayStation Portal recently. I have it right here. No one listening can see, but I'm holding it up. This little thing is cool and did not come out this year, but I got it this year. So or we're talking about last year. So I got it this year in 2026. In 2023. I wrote and published an article titled, "Who is the audience for Sony's Project Q streaming device?" This is back before it got a name. It was announced as Project Q. And I kind of batched this thing as I don't understand who's going to buy this. This is dumb. Streaming games is never going to work. And you know what? When I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. And this thing is so cool. I've been playing a ton of Death Stranding on it. I loaded up some different games on it today. Definitely works better if your PS5 is hardwired. That's something I realized very quickly. But if you have a decent internet connection, I'm playing all over my house and it looks fine, responds fine. There's no lag. It's been really cool. So it's if Blueprints wanting to play it handheld, maybe I'll get it on PlayStation and I'll download it and be able to play it on my Portal. I think that'd be really cool.
This game is on PS Plus because I didn't pay for it, and that's what I've been playing it on. So
ooh, nice. Do you have the the additional PS Plus tier? I'm just on the basic one.
Oh yeah, I'm on the last tier, the
Platinum, right?
The premium, I think. the most
It
expensive
starts with a
one.
P. We know that.
Oh yeah, I think I've had somewhere have an article about how convoluted the names are. Like it should be like bronze, silver, gold, but instead it's like essential, premium. Yeah, but I can't keep it straight.
I think it's essential, extra, and premium, which it's like they're not even all E's.
Nope.
And they're easy to forget. Like I'm not 100% certain that premium isn't tier 2 and extra is tier 3. I'm pretty sure that premium is tier 3, but I'm not 100% sure. That's how confusing it is. It's like Starbucks drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fact.
But
Hugely agree.
moving on, one more game that I played earlier this year. Wasn't super impressed with when it came out, but I picked it up again literally within the last week, and I've actually been fucking with it a lot more. Is Pokemon Legends ZA. And Dan, I know that you played this one. It was on your top 10 list on Tech Raptor. So yeah, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, this was a delightful game for me. It got a lot of hate and criticism prior to it releasing, and then after it releasing. Pokemon games always do. There are a lot of people who are really dissatisfied with this game. I did not buy it immediately at launch, but I got it shortly after, and I've told this story on the show before. But my wife and I went on a vacation to Las Vegas, and I realized, like, the week we were leaving, hey, I'm going to be on a plane for 5.5 hours. Why don't I get this Pokemon game and just enjoy my flight, like playing new Pokemon? And I did, and it was great, and I had a wonderful time. And I played it a lot on that vacation, and I got home, and I continued playing it more, and it was just such a great time. Runs really well on Switch 2. I know this was a cross-release between Switch 1 and Switch 2, but I played it on Switch 2. Runs really well. A lot of people complain about the textures. They complain about like the 2D balconies and not really having dimensions, in the city. I don't really care about any of that. The Pokemon designs are super cool. Your character looks great. It runs smoothly. The gameplay loop of battling and catching and not being random encounters. I really don't like random encounters in Pokemon, so being able to go and battle and catch all these different Pokemon has been super cool. I cleared the main story and I rolled credits, and there's still a good amount of post-game stuff to do, so I'm kind of playing around with that. Just collecting more Pokemon, a lot of stuff that releases in the end game, and I've put probably 40 to 45 hours into this so far, and it's just been a lot of fun. I really like the Legends storylines in those games. I really enjoyed Arceus, and this one was cool too. I hope they continue this line of games and tell a new story with it. It also makes me excited for what the next mainline Pokemon game will be, especially seeing how well this runs on Switch 2 right out the gate. I do think the next mainline game will not have the extent of performance issues as we saw in Scarlet and Violet. So there are a lot of promising things that I see for the future, but I just had so much fun with Pokemon Legends ZA, and I'm still playing it, off and on. So it's a really cool game to get into and stick with for a long time.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, for me, I loved Arceus, and I didn't finish it, but I did play some of it, and I really liked it. I thought, this is actually the direction the franchise needs to go. I feel like the mainline game should actually take cues from Arceus, because there are just some things that, it doesn't have to be a full action RPG or whatever, but they can keep the turn-based combat, but there are just some things that just made more sense. And it feels like the mainline Pokemon games have just gotten really lazy, especially in the Switch and Switch 2 era. Well, I guess I should just say the Switch era. They haven't had a mainline game on Switch 2 yet. But especially during the Switch era, it just feels like, it honestly feels like they shit out a product and they're like, okay, yeah, kids are going to eat this up. They're going to like it. So it doesn't have to be good. But Arceus was a game that actually, dared to be different. And it was very bold. And I was a big fan of that. It had some performance issues. But overall, I was very pleased with that. And I felt like that felt like the modernization of Pokemon that it needed. It's like Final Fantasy realized this and modernized itself in its later entries. And this game should. And I'm not saying that they need to do away with turn-based combat, because we've definitely proven that there's a place for that. But the fact that they actually finally released an action RPG was good. And with Legends EA, they could have just taken Arceus and just thrown it in a different region and called it a day, but they actually decided to continue to be bold and double down on that boldness and try some new things, and I respect them for that. As far as like the action RPG concept goes, they've actually completely doubled down on it, and it's fully action RPG. It feels like your characters in the anime battling with Pokemon, and I really, really like that. I thought that was cool. I really like, being able to catch Pokemon in the wild, like you mentioned, Dan. There's no random encounters, and that's nice. I really like Lumio City. I'm not adverse to the idea that they're relegating it to the single city versus the more open environments of Arceus. I feel like they're like the Assassin's Creed games would go, back and forth between big open environments and contained cities. And it's like, as long as the city is big enough and dense enough, that's okay. And I feel like there is a lot to do in Lumio City. The only thing that I'm unhappy about is that it hasn't really opened up the world to me yet. So far in the game, it feels like it's kind of holding my hand and telling me, go here, go here, go here. But I did just come across a part of the game where it's letting me do some side quests. So I feel like it's kind of opening up now, because that's what I want. I want to be able to just explore. I was impressed by, despite the fact that it's a smaller region laterally, the verticality of the game actually adds so much to it. And you can just find Pokemon on rooftops and stuff. And it's really cool. There's no fall damage. I'm having a blast with it, honestly. It's a very chill game. It is a bit repetitive, but it's still like it's one of those games that's like easily like a game that you can play before going to bed, and the performance is really good. Looks like they've really addressed a lot of the technical issues, at least as far as the resolution and the frame rate. I mean, great. This game runs at 4K 60. As far as the art direction, it leaves much to be desired. This does still have a lot of that Game Freak Pokemon issues with. It just feels like they are just kind of shitting out a product in some ways, and they've gotten lazy. People were right to point out how the textures look kind of lifeless. The interiors look really good. I feel like the wild zones are good, but like the city itself, which compromises most of the game, is a little lackluster. But the character models do look really good. The one thing that really bothered me when I picked this up on day one, and I did pre-order it and pick it up day one, was that this game features dynamic cinematic cutscenes where you can see the characters' lips moving and everything, but absolutely refuses to add voice acting. And it's very awkward. It's okay when it's just text boxes. I'm okay with that. I play visual novels. I'm fine with that. But when you're showing me like a fully dynamic cinematic cutscene and you can see the characters' lips moving and there's just no sound coming out at all, it's weird. And it feels like there's just no reason they should not have added voice acting to this game. Zelda added voice acting,
Yeah, but not everything can be the beauty of Zelda. Come on, let's be so fucking for real.
Very true.
But here's the thing, though, because Game Freak is capable of more. We just they showed off a demo that surprised the hell out of everybody, showed off some gameplay of their new game, Beast of Reincarnation, which is like, what the hell? So y'all literally have just been lazy for years for Pokemon fans, but you're actually capable of this?
Yeah, Pokemon is such a bizarre thing. The number one biggest brand in the world by revenue by far is Pokemon. And that is extremely clear when we just had a very large football game in the United States the other day. Ad time, costing millions and millions of dollars. They aired a 1-minute Pokemon ad, estimated to cost anywhere between $16 and $20 million just for the airtime, and then all the celebrity endorsements they had in that commercial definitely cost even more. Which I'm curious, is Nintendo fronting that money? Is that from Game Freak? Like, where's the financing coming from? But this is a very big year for Pokemon. We're celebrating Pokemon's 30th anniversary. That is happening later this month. We're hoping to get some big announcements, maybe not brand new games, but hopefully either remakes or re-releases. The Nintendo Switch is poorly lacking in classic Pokemon games. So if they released Fire Red or Blue or Yellow or Ruby Sapphire, whatever, there would be a big demand for that. Now, whether that's going to be on Nintendo Switch Online or if they'll release it on the eShop as something you can purchase remains to be seen. But hopefully with the success of Legends ZA and with all of the hype that's surrounding this Pokemon anniversary, I'm hoping we're going to get some cool announcements before too long from the Pokemon Company.
Definitely. But all right, there was one more game that I have added to our main discussion, and then we'll go off and we'll kind of just rapid review anything else that we played this year. But I definitely wanted to talk about this one because it was a standout for me, and that was Dispatch.
Yes.
Megan, I know you played this as well, right?
Yes. I was voluntold to play this by my mod. My mod Ignis, shout out Ignis because I know you're gonna listen to this episode. He was like, Mirror, if you don't play this, we're breaking up as mod and streamer. And I was like, okay, what the fuck am I playing? Like, what's going on? And he told me about it because I didn't pay much attention to it, but he told me a little bit about it, and he was like, me and my girlfriend have been playing it, and I was like, okay. And so I decided to download it. I was blown away. Oh my god, this game was so fucking fun, and I'm so glad that I was voluntold to do it because it was game of the year for me. I'm so sad that it didn't release a little bit earlier because I really feel like if it had released just a little bit earlier, it might have won game of the year. I know that's bold of me to say, but
it did receive quite a few nominations and awards. I know it was in the conversation, and I gotta agree, this is one of the few games that I did complete this year. And I'm really happy that I did because, what a great story. It feels like it's picking up the torch from Telltale Games, which I think that they're basically gone under and they're not doing those anymore, last I heard. But, it feels right at home with games like that or Until Dawn or Detroit Become Human or Heavy Rain. What a quality release. I like that they released it in chunks. So, you just got a couple episodes at a time. I kind of picked this up towards the end, like right before they dropped the last 2 episodes. So I played it all in a row, but I still kind of paced it out. And it was one of those games that I could easily just jump in, do an episode or 2, and then do something else for the rest of the night.
Yeah. I did the same thing on
really
stream.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was so fun. And like the amount of like great people that they had in Moist Critical was in it. Young Gravy's character is my favorite character.
Aaron Paul
is in it. Like
Jesse Pinkman himself and homeboy from Invisible. I mean, he's getting a lot of credits lately, especially in the voice acting area. And I gotta give it. His voice did sound different in this one.
It was good though.
What I was used to.
I liked it though. I liked that he's able to add like that dynamic, different version of his voice, and I feel like he did the voice of Robert so fucking well. It's great. And just
the performances are really good. Him, Travis Willingham, and Matt Mercer, a lot of well-known voices added to this project.
It was so good, and Matt Mercer is just I love him so much. And okay, so the whole thing about Dispatch is like it's decision based, right? And there was a lot of discourse about who Robert romances. So Ash, who did you romance?
Oh, did you even have to ask? Invisigal, of course. I mean, I had the hots for Blonde Blazer at first. It felt like she was like kind of like the intended romance option because she's the first one you meet, and I did lean in to kiss her, and then I found out she had a dude, and then she broke up with Phenomenon Man, and I was like, all right, yeah. But then I get that great episode that starts with Invisigal just literally having a wet dream. And then I was like, nope. I was like, okay, if the alt girl is an option, I'm 100% going for her.
Yeah, same. Exactly.
I don't even care.
Right.
So you get a moment at the end of an episode where you get to go on it basically gives you the option to go on a date with Blonde Blazer or Invisigal, and I went with Invisigal. We won't lean too hard into spoilers, but I will say it does allow you to romance those two. And I picked Invisigal, and I stuck with it the rest of the game. I defended her whenever the rest of the team hated her. I was 100% on board with Invisigal. As soon as I found out that she was romantically interested, I was like, nah, I gotta go after her.
Vizzy for the win. And like also another thing that I will say, I did go back and I did romance Blonde Blazer. Just for the plot. I went back and made different choices.
Oh yeah.
And I will say her romance is a lot more wholesome, but it is fun. But Vizzy's feels more like a fiery spark. And I love the juxtaposition between the two. Also the music in this was so good. I'm not the type to normally do games like this, but it swept me off my fucking feet. Like I Loved Dispatch. They are already in talks of doing season 2. They weren't expecting it to pop off as big as it did. And I'm gonna be one of the first people to be playing that game. I tell you what, whenever we get a season 2. And I love that they're doing seasons too. So it's like you can expand upon this for a long time. And also shout out to Ad Hoc Studios. They did such a good job. This was, their first release. They did incredible. Oh my God, I was blown away. I had so much fun. And I'm actually thinking about replaying it now that we're talking about it again. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go fuck Busy again.
Yeah. It's a very replayable game, and I definitely love to jump into it and make some of the other choices, try out the other romance, things like that. But yeah, Vizzy for the win. She feels like the canon choice.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see where they take it forward going with season 2. I know I think the Telltale Batman games, for instance, like actually carried your progress over. I'm sure the Walking Dead games did the same thing.
Yeah.
So it would be cool to see where this goes moving forward. And yeah, apparently the Ad Hoc Studio actually is comprised of employees from Telltale Games, Ubisoft, and Night School Studio. So that's why that Telltale game influence is in there. It definitely feels like this is the spiritual successor to those games. And I'm curious to see what Ad Hoc Studios does next. But yeah, Dispatch, what a welcome surprise.
Yeah, that was a great drop for 2025. I'm disappointed that it didn't get more wins, but Expedition 33 did do very well. And it was incredible. They got their little bit of piece, but I do kind of, just because I loved it and I believe in the underdog, I really, really, really did want Dispatch to win a couple more awards because I really feel like they did great things as an indie studio, and also just the gamers and the pillars of the community like Moist Critical that are in the game. They hold the foundation of what content creation is like when you're a good person and you're not a shitty person. And I feel like they should be awarded for that and their efforts in the game too, because that's not something that you would normally do. Like freaking Moist Critical had to make a SAG after card to be able to do this game, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think you guys have convinced me. I'm downloading the demo on Steam right now, and I've added it to my wish list. I'm gonna have to check this game out.
I need to.
It sounds really cool.
I don't have a lot of friends
really
on
should,
Steam.
bro.
I gotta add you on Steam, Dan.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And it's not a huge time investment. It's 6 episodes, I think.
Yeah,
8 episodes,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, sorry, 8 episodes. Cool. And they're not particularly long. You can get through them fairly quickly. But the game, kind of pads its length with having multiple different choices that you'll make throughout the story. So, you're kind of incentivized to think, what if I did this the other way? And there are a lot of different decisions like that beyond the romance option.
Take your clothes off.
What's happening right now?
It's better if you keep your identity a secret. Here. I remembered you being bigger. I was a little drunk. I work better alone.
The hell, man?
Hello, Robert.
How do you move so quiet?
I float.
What the fuck?
I only came in as I thought we were playing Magic the Gathering tonight. I am hoping we still may.
But yeah, those were the main games that I wanted to talk about this episode. There were definitely a lot more that came out, so I wanted to give everybody a chance to sort of rapid fire review any other games you played this year, anything that you really had to say about them. Dan, for instance, I know I read your top 10 list on Tech Raptor, and I know you included Monster Hunter Wilds and Split Fiction. So I'd love to hear what you thought about those games.
Yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds was a lot of fun. I think what some people didn't like about it is what I really enjoyed, and that it's it reduced the difficulty a bit, especially with the ability to call in AI, computer controlled like assistants and allies, and that was great because it meant I never had to go on a hunt alone, which I like hunting with other people whenever possible, and that was a lot of fun. I'm not very good at Monster Hunter games. This was a game that early in the year, I got together with some friends and played a good amount of. Just beautifully designed, really took advantage of the current gen consoles and just was really, really great. Split Fiction, super fun to play. My wife and I played through that together. That came out in March last year, and always a joy to play a couch co-op game, especially from Hazelight Studios. And we had, we really enjoyed playing It Takes Two a couple years ago, and this was so much fun. I'm actually in a second playthrough right now of Split Fiction because my friend Mike really wanted to play together. And it's awesome because you have the friend pass on it. And so he doesn't own the game, but we're able to play together online and he can just join up with me without needing to buy the game himself. So we've been playing together online. My second playthrough, and I'm playing as the opposite character now. I'm playing as Zoe this time around, and it's fun.
Which is
getting,
so bitchin' of them to do. I love that they do that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like it's so everything I love about like video games and game studios and not being greedy and really being like committed to the experience of enjoying a game. Hazelight Studios really does, and I want to definitely give them their flowers on this one. Split Fiction was really cool. It was, technically impressive and super fun to play. And I'm really excited whatever project they have cooking up, because I know there's some crazy thing that they're, figuring out right now. And I can't wait to play it whenever they come out with it.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I remember you geeking out about Monster Hunter Wilds earlier this year, either when it was announced or when it came out earlier last year. And I remember we talked about it a little bit in the chat, but I never played any of those games before. But it did spark my interest. Split Fiction was definitely on my radar because I played a little bit of It Takes Two. At one point, we were actually going to do an episode on it, but we ended up dropping because of scheduling conflicts and whatnot. Megan, you had actually suggested that game, but
I did.
So for that reason, Split Fiction was on my radar, but you kind of have to have somebody to play with, and I live alone, so I didn't end up picking it up. Dan, were there any other games that you wanted to bring up?
I think we covered pretty much everything. There are the other big games for me this year were games that released, in other years, but I discovered for the first time. Death Stranding being a big one. I played through Alan Wake 2 for the first time this year. Marvel's Midnight Suns I really got into this year. So 2025 was a really good year for new games, and also for me personally, some good opportunities to go back and pick up some older games too. So really, really good time exploring some of these.
Nice. All right. And Megan, what about you? Any other games that you wanted to bring up that came out last year?
Yeah, for sure. For me, so I upgraded in August of last year to PC. We kind of talked about this a little bit on the podcast, but since we're doing year in review, I kind of wanted to go into a little bit more. So I did finally get the chance to build what I wanted and do the upgrade and do the damn thing. And I've been loving it. I have the AMD Ryzen 7, and then I have a 5070, so I have a beast. I love it, and I got everything right before. I'm sure y'all have heard about all the stuff with the AI and everything with the prices rising. It's a struggle out here because now I want to upgrade Alan and I can't because RAM is $400 fucking dollars. But yeah, it's definitely been like a super fun ride. And I've had a lot of fun. I've been playing a lot of games that I never had the opportunity to play, especially games like during COVID where like we didn't have the consoles to play it or we didn't have the internet to play it. You know what I mean? So I've been playing, The First Descendant, like I kind of talked about a little bit earlier. Been playing Alien Fireteam Elite. That's a lot of fun, especially if you're a fan of the franchise. Played some Dispatch, played some Cyberpunk for the first time. That game is really fun, which I know is crazy for me as a podcaster that talks about video games to say. But again, I've never had the space for it. So getting to play that for the first time in 2025 has been a really, really fun experience, and playing that on stream. I also have been playing a lot of like live service multiplayer games like Warhammer 40K Dark Tide has been a lot of fun. Been playing that with my mod because the man is a walking tech priest. We also have Warframe, and then I played some Baldur's Gate, and then I wanted to shout out 2 indie games that I did play that I got on Steam. The first one was Grimshire, which is kind of similar to like Stardew Valley or I was gonna say Animal Crossing, but that just it doesn't feel right. But like it's like similar to Stardew Valley, but it's got a little bit more of a mystery element to it, and it's like a little bit of like a like there's like a whole mystery in it. I don't want to give anything away. Um, but that game was a lot of fun. I haven't played the full version of it yet. I did buy it, but I did like play the demo through on stream, and I really loved it. And then my last game, one that I really, really, really wanted to shout out, was Light Up the Town, which was an indie game. It's a game about this little precious. I don't know if it's like a weasel. I want to say it's like a weasel or a ferret. They don't really specify. Um, but you are this little child named Bean, and you go around decorating your town in Christmas lights and spreading joy. And it's the cutest fucking game. It gave me so much cheer and just happiness, especially like, sometimes around Christmas it does get a little bit more morose and sad. Just, especially, us living in Georgia and, our family living in Texas, it's hard to be away from family. So I did get a lot of cheer and joy playing through that game because it's so fucking cute and it's just so precious. It was like $10 next Christmas when you're looking at playing a game. Please play Light Up the Town if you have a PC. It's so damn cute and they deserve all of the things. They are just so sweet and precious. But I think I think that's all I really had for the year. Just a lot of games that I've already been playing or stuff that I moved over from the Xbox to the PC because it was a wild couple of months having that upgrade and that transition period. Learning how to play also Helldivers on the PC because that was another thing that happened last year. Is it released on Xbox? But I waited and waited to play with Alan because he has a PC or Xbox. Helldivers, a lot of fun. Currently, at the time of recording this, we just invaded Cyberstand, which is a fucking wild sentence to say, and it's been brutal and it's been terrible. But I've also probably had the most fun I've ever had in my life playing that game. And also Phasmophobia, Among Us, playing games like that came out in 2020 that I didn't get to play. A lot of those friend slop games, Lockdown Protocol, kind of stuff like that. So fun. So fun.
Yeah. No, it's also been a good year to catch up on some stuff, and then that's been good. But it's just with the flux of new games coming in, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
And I feel like I had to play a lot of them. A couple that I would have definitely made a major talking point if Zach was here, because I think he would have had something to say. Elden Ring, Night Rain, and Borderlands 4. I played very little of these. But I did play a little bit of them, and Elden Ring, Night Ring, I kind of realized is maybe not for me because I struggle with Souls-likes as it is, and the saving grace of Elden Ring was that its open world structure allowed you to kind of make the build that you wanted to. Whereas with Night Rain, it's a co-op multiplayer game that has kind of a roguelike quality to it, and also a battle royale quality to it. It's a very unique concept, and I was really impressed by just the premise of it. But it's just not a game that I could see myself investing very much time into because it's like every single match you have to find loot that's randomized throughout the map. And in order to get good, and that's you're still gonna have to rely quite a bit on your skill. And I'm not that great at Souls-likes, but I was able to find equipment to make it through Elden Ring and at least make progress and get to the DLC when that came out. As for Borderlands 4, I played the very, very beginning of it, just the prologue. I've always liked the Borderlands games, and I own all of them, but I've never finished any of them. I think the one I got the most of the way through was Borderlands 2, and I appreciate the pop culture references, the art style, and just the general humor of it. The movie sucked, but
facts.
it is a fun game franchise, and I like that a lot of people are playing it. It's another multiplayer alternative because you have the co-op modes and you can go and fight against bosses, and I'm glad that a lot of people are enjoying it. It was supposed to get a Switch 2 release, and I would have played it on Switch 2, even though it only ran at 30 FPS. I would have just wanted to see the tech on display, and unfortunately, they've delayed that port along with Elden Ring. So I don't know when those are coming out, but hopefully soon. As far as the rest of my list, and bear with me, I have a lot, but y'all feel free to interject if you have any thoughts about these or played any of these. I did play the demo of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I really, really enjoyed it. I really feel like that's a game that I would love to buy and put some time into if I ever get a chance to, because I was just really impressed by the level of realism. But, maybe I would just go back and play Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 first.
Fair. That
Mm-hmm.
game was really cool.
Yeah. But I played actually the game trial on PlayStation, so it let me play the first 4 hours of the game, and I was like, wow, there's just so much to do here, and it's a really, really impressive game, but like ultra realistic. And I'm glad that games are bold enough to do things like that now. Another demo I played, and I don't remember if I actually ended up bringing it up on the Switch 2 episode or not, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shout out again because I think you two would really enjoy this. But The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales debut demo. That's a game that's coming out here in 2026, but the demo's out on Switch 2 now, and it's really, really good. It really feels like it's a Square Enix HD 2D action RPG, but it feels quite a bit like old school Zelda, like A Link to the Past, like Super Nintendo era Zelda. And I was really impressed by it. And it's a massive demo that provides a lot of content. And I think all that progress carries over to the main game. And they even have like optional bosses and dungeons to go through. And the art style is beautiful. And it's a really, really well crafted game. And I had a lot of fun with that demo. But as far as full releases go, Hollow Knight Silksong, I figure we should talk about it. I did play a very little bit of it because I wanted to support the developer. I mean, what a win for indie developers this year between this and Blueprints and Dispatch. But we've waited several years for this follow-up to Hollow Knight, which was so well received, and they dropped the game for $20. So I remember there being some discourse online and people saying, even people that normally pirate games were saying, no, buy this game. And the game runs at 120 frames per second on Switch 2. It was, I think, the first game besides the Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour to actually hit the 120 frames. And Hollow Knight just got a Switch 2 upgrade as well, so I actually restarted that. I played quite a bit of Hollow Knight. Well, not quite a bit, just a little bit, really. But made some progress in the game. Just kind of, I wanted to get through that first before I jumped to Hollow Knight Silksong. But I'd definitely love to jump into those games later when I get an opportunity. Gears of War Reloaded. I picked this up when it came out. I think it's on Game Pass, yeah. And I picked it up again today and made it through the first act. And I've never played Gears of War before, but
which is a wild
really
sentence.
I know. This really convinced me, and I actually understand the appeal of this franchise, and really it just breezed by. I was impressed by how fast-paced it was, and the narrative was pretty engaging, and I feel like this is the definitive way to play that game, and it's on Game Pass. So, definitely go check out Gears of War Reloaded if you want that nostalgia, or if you're like me and you want to check out that franchise for the first time, and I think it does have a co-op mode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
That's the only way to play it is the co-op mode with a friend. Also, experiencing 3 and the event that happens in 3 is a canon event for everyone.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, you have to.
That's a series. It's a series we'll have to get into at some point.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean 5 for me was, but also we're getting D-Day, right? Yeah, we're getting D-Day soon. Hold on.
So maybe a new announcement
at some point.
It's definitely so fun, and it's like one of those games where it's just or not D-Day. I'm thinking of World War II E-Day. That one is coming. Let's see. We expect it to launch in November 2026, so probably on E-Day itself is when it's going to drop. They haven't done like a full release yet, but that's kind of like whenever we get stuff on N7 Day, it's the same thing. But
nice.
E-Day is also one that's coming out, and it's like whenever it's like the start of what happened in the Gears of War series. So it's like a prequel to Gears of War. So that's another one that if we are to review a game this year, it's gonna be that.
Okay,
it's gonna be that.
All right, hell yeah, yeah. We can definitely do a game watch review on that. Skate here. Okay, let me tell you guys, I love the Skate series. It's one of my favorite game series. It's very nostalgic for me. When I played Skate for the first time, I was like, nah, this blows Tony Hawk out of the water. Tony Hawk sucks ass compared to this. And I know a lot of people have nostalgia for that, and that was appeased by the recent re-releases of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And I played a little bit of Tony Hawk Skater 3+4 on I forgot about that. That should have been on the list too, but I don't. I did play it on Xbox Series X, and it was really cool that you got to play as the Doomslayer. I had some fun with that, but Skate was my most anticipated game, as far as like skateboarding games go. And honestly, it was kind of a letdown for all the anticipation. We've been waiting ever since Skate 3 for several years for this, and I don't know, it just didn't really jive with me. It didn't feel like old school Skate. Maybe it was the whole modern aesthetic. Maybe I'm out of touch with the skateboarding world. I haven't skated in years. But it just didn't really hit that for me. It felt like Skate used to be more realistic, and this was a little bit more fantasy. It's a free game, and it's technically not hit its full release yet. It's in season 2, but it's still considered the game preview. And they're adding new content, but it's kind of more of a, you just get like random loot boxes that give you customizable gear. So, you have to work at it to even, wear clothes that you want. And I've heard that there are better realistic skateboarding games out there. So, kind of a disappointment. One skateboarding game that I played that I was impressed by, and I've only played the first couple levels of it, but Skate Story was really good. It's got a whole different control scheme, but it actually plays more like an action adventure game with skateboarding, and it was really, really fun, and I was really impressed by that. I played that, I think, on PS5, and I really liked it. I don't remember if it was just very cheap or if it was on PlayStation Plus, but it wasn't a big expense for me. One game that I did actually put quite a bit of time into, and I was excited to jump back into it, was Mafia: The Old Country. I remember I played this when it came out, and I kept playing it, and it was really, really good. I'd never played a Mafia game before, but this one really hooked me. I was into the story. The lead girl has a really nice ass that I was appreciating, and
important.
What's not to love, man? It's that old like Sicilian gangsters thing, and it's kind of like a prequel to the Mafia series that shows how they got there. And unfortunately, I tried picking it up again recently, and the game just seems plagued by technical issues. I don't know if it's just me or what, but every time I boot up the game, I just noticing frequent screen tearing, and I just couldn't pick it back up again. I just wasn't able to really play the game very well. I was playing this on Series X, and it just seems to have a lot of technical issues even months after release. So that prevented me from playing it more, and I would have liked to have finished it. As far as Switch 2 releases go, Kirby Air Riders came out this year. I played a very little of it. It's another game I picked up on launch day because I was like, okay, cool, a new Switch 2 first-party title. It's another racing game along with Mario Kart 8 and the Sonic racing game that came out this year. I thought it was decent. It was okay. Not something that really piqued my interest. When all my Switch 2 games got stolen, I wasn't necessarily incentivized to go pick it up again. But if I knew anybody else that played it, maybe I'd shoot a few rounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a game that I downloaded one of the demos when they had their test weekend for people to play out, and I played it for a little bit, and that was I got my fill with it. I didn't feel the need to buy it when that one came out, so I kind of skipped it, but I at least have a little bit of experience with it.
Yeah. We did get another Souls-like this year, and that series does feel very saturated, but the one thing I can say about all the Souls-likes I've played is that they've all actually been pretty good quality games. So although it's an oversaturated genre, it feels like a lot of love and attention is being put into these. So that was Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. I only played very little of it. I picked it up one evening. I noticed that it had a lot of different visual modes, graphics modes, and putting it all the way on performance mode actually wasn't ideal because it did reduce the graphical quality for me. But I was able to find a happy medium. Played pretty well on Xbox Series X. Very difficult like Souls-likes are. And, if you're into Souls-likes, I feel like this is definitely going to be a good one to pick up. It was a quality release. There were a couple mobile games that I picked up. I don't play a whole lot of mobile games because I just never really have a part of my life that have a lot of time where I'm just on my phone and can play games. But Persona 5 The Phantom X came out. And so they did another Persona 5 spinoff. And it's kind of got a gotcha quality to it. But what little of it I have played is cool. It's kind of cool to play a turn-based Persona 5 game on your phone, and it features all the characters from Persona 5 plus a whole lot more. So that was cool. I don't know if you checked that out, Dan.
No, I haven't, but maybe I should because I do like the Persona 5 universe quite a bit, and it would be fun to have that with me anywhere I go. So
Yeah.
I'll think about that. That sounds cool.
Yeah. There also was a Fire Emblem mobile game, Fire Emblem Shadows, and Fire Emblem Heroes is one of the few mobile games that I've actually put a little bit of time into because I love tactical RPGs. And so they dropped another one, and I haven't played very much of it, but it had a whole new spin on the tactical RPG system, and it was cool. I thought it was really interesting. There were a couple more new releases this year that were indie projects that I felt kind of reminded me of each other. And again, games I picked up for an evening. I thought I might actually spend maybe a day playing through these at some point, but Ninja Gaiden Ragebound and The Rogue Prince of Persia, side-scrolling, very fast-paced games. The Rogue Prince of Persia is kind of like a roguelike. So I know Hades 2 came out this year. I didn't get a chance to play that one, but I did play a little bit of Hades 1. So we've definitely got a lot of good roguelike games. And then the last bit of this episode, there were a few remakes, remasters, or ports that came this year that I wanted to touch on because I did get a chance to check them out. Heretic plus Hexen. So these games, and Megan, you might think this is cool. These games came out on platforms like DOS, Mac OS, but they are essentially medieval Doom clones. That actually kind of have a more like magic-based system. So kind of Doom the Dark Ages before Doom the Dark Ages. And they packaged them together and released them. I think they're on Game Pass, or either that or they were very cheap. So I checked those out and spent a little bit of time with those. And I'll definitely love to do a Let's Play on both of those later.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Metal Gear Solid is a franchise I've really wanted to get into it for a long time, and I thought that this might be a good starting point. So I did start the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, and apparently it's chronologically the first game in the series. And although Kojima wasn't actually involved in it, and it apparently isn't playing the game, it does look like it's a fairly faithful recreation of the game that holds up to modern standards. I was impressed by the just how in depth the stealth options were. You know, it's not like a baby's first stealth game like some of these games are. Like, this is a real man's stealth game with some chest hair. It got a re-release. Yeah, with some chest hair. And I'm a huge fan of Kojima, so it's definitely something that's on my radar that I want to check out more later. Final Fantasy Tactics, which a lot of people say is the best Final Fantasy game. And it's a tactical RPG, and I love tactical RPGs. Final Fantasy Tactics got a remake, the Ivalice Chronicles. I did play that a couple times this year, and I really like it. The story is really good. There's a whole glossary full of all these different characters and terms and locations that you can literally just spend an hour just reading up about the lore of the game and also the mechanics. And I did. I literally just as soon as I got a chance to, I got on the menu screen and just read all of this information. And it's a really, really quality re-release. And they did something that was really cool, which was they not only added the remake with all of its features, but the classic game is also available. So you can just play the original game. Just with enhanced graphics. And I thought that was a really, really good decision of them to do without any of the quality of life improvements or changes. And then finally, Pac-Man World 2 Repack. Pac-Man World 2 is a game I played during my childhood on the GameCube, and I really liked it. I never played Pac-Man World 1. Pac-Man World 3 was the GOAT, though. And this game was just a blast of the past. It was really, really cool jumping back in for an evening and playing through the first couple levels. It just brought me right back to my childhood playing that game on GameCube. But that is it. That is everything that we've played this year. And guys, I feel like this was a pretty stacked year for gaming.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of good games this year, and hopefully even better ones coming up this upcoming year. So a lot to look forward to.
Fuck yeah. So the last thing that we'll do is we'll go ahead and each reveal our game of the year. So which game was the game that you really felt deserved, that you enjoyed the most, that came out last year that you feel deserved the Game of the Year awards? We'll start with you, Megan.
Fuck. giving all the flowers to Expedition 33, for me, it's Dispatch.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I have to stand on business on that for sure. I really, Dan, I really think you're gonna enjoy your experience. And also, you don't have to play it on streamer mode, so just a fair warning, you will see a lot of body parts unless you want to censor that. There is a setting for it.
I do not want to censor that. That sounds terrific.
Yeah, no, I forgot to mention that earlier when we talked about Dispatch, but yeah, the Nintendo Switch 2 version apparently is censored, which is weird because like games like Cyberpunk have come out on the Switch 2 and they're not censored. There's like apparently several dozen hentai games on the Switch 2, but for reasons that Ad Hoc Studio cannot disclose, they were legally unable to release the game uncensored on Switch 2.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. But no, that was a really quality game, and it's definitely up there for me. Dan, I actually know what your pick is because I've read your top 10 article. But what was your game of the year?
Yeah, my game of the year is Ghost of Yotei, which we have a whole episode on.
2 episodes.
That's right, 2 episodes. We came back to record it twice because there's a lot to love in that game, and I want to go back and get the platinum trophy on PS5 at some point. But the story was great, gameplay was so much fun. I loved exploring that world. It was just such a joy spending the majority of my fall in that universe and riding my horse across Japan and helping Atsu, seek revenge on the Yotei 6, and just to have a lot of fun in this follow-up to one of my other favorite games, Ghost of Tsushima. So Sucker Punch did an incredible job with it. Hugely anticipated for me. They nailed a lot of the stuff I was looking for, and definitely this is a stacked year. There are a lot of other really fun games, but Ghost of Yotei is the one that I'll go back to most frequently.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, it's definitely up there for me, if not my number 2 pick. It was definitely one of my most anticipated games this year. And of the 2 games that I most anticipated, it actually was really awesome. So what a phenomenal game. And you can listen to Dan and I talk about it in more detail on our 2-part episode. For me, this should come as no surprise. I've dropped it quite a few times, and I'm sorry to be yet another person to glaze this game and give it an award, but I can't hide my feelings. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 was just a monument to storytelling, to RPGs. I mean, I know that it doesn't necessarily do anything that's never been done before, but it does them so well. And, it still is a very unique concept, taking a turn-based RPG and adding in that level. I know other games have done things similar to it, but the way that Expedition 33 pulls it off, I think really not only appeals to fans of turn-based RPGs, but it's pulled in people that did not play those games. And they've managed to enjoy it. I know friends that were fans of Souls-likes who have really liked this because it kind of has that quality where you've got those super bosses that you can actually, unlike most turn-based RPGs, you can beat solely through skill. You don't have to grind to beat the game, or to fight some of the most difficult bosses. If you're that good, you can fight them early, which is cool. And I'm definitely going to have a lot more to say about it later. I spent half of a game launch episode talking about it already, and we're going to do a 2-part episode on it as our season finale because, and I'm sorry that Zach isn't here to glaze it even more, but we'll have plenty of time for that later when we talk about it. God, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 was a masterpiece, and I think it deserves every award it's gotten. I know there's some discourse as to whether or not it's an indie game. I think you can give games like Silk Song or Blueprints or Dispatch that award if you really want, but in every other department, I think it nailed it, and it is a testament to what a game should strive to. So those are those are our Game of the Year picks. Let us know if you agree. Hit us up on social media and let us know what you think. Real quick, guys. Megan, what have you got going on stream?
Oh gosh. So I've been playing a lot of Helldivers. That's kind of an obvious one. I also picked up Phasmophobia, and I've been playing that a lot with people in stream, which has been a lot of fun. I am planning some bestie time. I wanted to shout out a couple of creators for today's episode. First, shout out Travis the sibling. That is bestie. Love that man. If you have an opportunity to watch a great streamer, I watched him for the first time for his first 5 minutes in Skyrim. And that was the best time. And like we have just been besties ever since. I love him. He's just a precious man. Shout out to the Jester 189. And also shout out to Joker and Fizzling Fox. It's been a couple of members of the community that I've been playing some of the games that I've been playing. And of course, there's many more. You know, there's a whole crew of we call everybody Shield siblings, and we all stream together and play together. Been having a lot of fun in the community. As far as like what's coming up, we are, going to be playing a lot of like Helldivers and stuff. I'm going to be playing some more Cyberpunk for sure. And then other than that, I don't really have anything necessarily planned at the moment. Just kind of exploring a lot of this and playing a lot of games. When I hit 250, we're going to do a Mir and Maka stream, which everyone's kind of weirded out whenever they listen to the podcast because I say my real name. And so people will pop into stream and say my real name, and I'm like, fuck you, I'm Mirror here. In the podcast, I'm Megan. Here, I'm Mirror. Do not use my government fuck-ass name in this stream. You are gonna get in trouble. But yeah.
That's funny.
That's what we've been doing. And just come hang out. It's a great time. And yeah, I have a lot of fun with it. I really enjoy streaming. I love being a small streamer. I love the community that I'm building. I'm at Mirrors Effect on Twitch, and I'm hoping to be on TikTok soon. Teehee, taha.
Fuck yeah. All right. And Dan, we referenced your Tech Raptor article quite a bit this episode. So yeah, what else have you got going on Tech Raptor?
Absolutely. Well, firstly, Megan, I'm going to have to come follow you on stream and maybe play some games with you guys because that sounds like a lot of fun. I'll definitely have to join that.
Yes, please do. I talk about you all the time. I'm like, I'll be like, oh, my friend Dan did this. My friend Dan. And they're like, who is this person? I'm like, go look at the podcast stuff. Because like every 30 minutes I get an alert like to go follow the podcast. So they hear about you and they're like, we don't know who Dan is. I'm like, I got to get this man in stream.
I'll have to come make an appearance for sure.
Yes, please do. Please do. They know you as the awesome Swiftie right now. And like the awesome, you're like Swiftie and game reviewer is what you're known as. I'm like, he is the iconic Dan the Man. That's all you need to know.
God. You're so kind. Thank you. I'll definitely come check out over there. On Tech Raptor, we referenced I put up this article, my top 10 games of 2025. We have some more stuff coming up, so we're about like 5 or 6 weeks away, but I'm going to be at PAX East in Boston. That's happening March 26th to March 29th this year. So if you're going to be in the Boston area, if you're going to be at PAX East, come on and say hi or hit me up, and I'll be there, and it'll be a lot of fun. I don't have any like game demos or appointments scheduled yet. Usually I do that about 3 weeks before the show actually happens, but I'm really excited to get the list of who's actually going to be there, see what games I'll be able to play, and just discover a lot of really cool new stuff. And it's a really great location for indie games especially, so there's going to be a lot of opportunity for me to go around and experience some new games and see what's going on. So keep an eye out for my content and everything coming out of PAX East. That will be toward the end of March. And then we'll have other stuff coming along as well. I don't have any articles directly in mind right now, but there are going to be a lot of game releases this year. There's going to be a lot of updates and news. I'm hoping to do some travel this year. So if I can get to like Summer Games Fest in LA or even Gamescom in Germany, fingers crossed, if I can get a badge for that, I would love to go do that. So there's, I'm trying to manifest a few things. Not positive, what's going to happen, but we'll see. I'm remaining open and trying to make some stuff happen. So hopefully we'll have a good year coming up.
You know what, Dan? I actually have been thinking, because I've got some PTO to burn and I want to travel this year, but I have no idea where I'm going to go or what I'm going to do. That's a consideration. PAX East.
Yeah, come on up.
We could actually link up in person.
Oh my God.
That would be great.
The bromance lives.
Yeah, please consider coming. Or if there's somewhere else you want to go or something, let me know. Maybe we can meet up somewhere else, somewhere in the country. That would be cool too, because there are a lot of places I want to explore, and I'm always down to meet up with friends. And in this case, meet up with you for the first time in person. That'd be really cool.
Come to
I know,
Dragon Con in Atlanta.
Man, I want to so bad. I'll add. Let me write that down because I will look into those dates and see if I can maybe get to that.
It's Labor Day or Memorial Day. Which one
Nice.
is at the end of August?
I know we're gonna have to figure out like ways to get together, like when something new releases that we're all excited about or something. I know I've come over and I visited Zach. I've literally come and visited him and flown out just to play Black Ops 6 together and stuff. But I didn't do anything last year, so I'm like I got to travel this year. I haven't gone anywhere. So yeah. But thank you, everyone, for listening. I know this was a long episode. Thank you guys for bearing with me and recording this long episode this late with me. But there was a lot of content to get through, and I definitely wanted to touch on a lot of these releases and shout out because, a lot of these developers, really put a lot of effort into these releases. And 2026 looks to be a stacked year as well. We'll try to keep up as best as possible. If you want to support the show, there are ways of doing that. We have a Patreon, a Buy Me a Coffee, and a merch store on Dashery. We'll have links in the show notes, as well as our social media, and where you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Coming up next on Collateral Gaming, we are going to be doing getting into some retro content. So this month, we are covering Night Trap and Vandal Hearts, so stay tuned for those. Also, Resident Evil Requiem is coming out this month. So, Dan, I know you're excited for that, so we'll definitely get together and record that here probably next month. And yeah, there's just a lot to look forward to. I think that was the first big release of the year. As far as Collateral Cinema goes, this month we are covering the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and that was my pick, and I'm really excited to get into these three films. We're covering Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers in part 1, and then Jim from Film Rage will be joining us for part 2 as we cover The Return of the King. And if you guys want to join, you're definitely welcome. I know it's a beloved franchise. It is for me. Absolutely. But yeah, check out Collateral Cinema as well, wherever you get your podcasts. On Collateral Let's Play, we are doing Phoenix Wright Wednesday. We are working our way through Turnabout Samurai. We just got an episode today as of the time recording this, and we'll be finishing that up soon. And then on this upcoming Saturday, we'll have a new Shooter Saturday where Bo and I played Doom 2, and that was a lot of fun. And here this upcoming Monday, I'll continue my playthrough of Metroid Zero Mission for Metroid Monday. So a lot of Let's Plays that we're doing, and I think that's just about it as far as what's coming up. So thank you all for listening. I look forward to gaming with everybody in 2026. With all that being said, I've been Ashley Chancellor.
I've been Megan Gomez.
I've been Dan Rockwood.
This was Collateral Gaming. We are out. Collateral Gaming is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and game clips are owned by their respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.